Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description. It was a wonderful evening. A boy of about 7 years old with scarlet hair and blue eyes like the sky was walking along the streets of the village. He was dressed in a red and blue tracksuit and blue shinobi sandals. His hands were bandaged, and he himself was shabby. It was immediately obvious that he had been training all day. There was no smile on the boy's face. Like most children his age, there was only sadness and sorrow. So, turning into an alley, he wanted to continue his way home, but crashed into some chunin. "Oh, I'm so sorry." The boy hastened to apologize, but he saw that look again. A look full of hatred and contempt. "Watch where you're going," the chunin said angrily and, pushing the boy, continued on his way. The boy stood up, shook himself off and continued on his way in an even worse mood and thought about only one question. "Why are they all looking at me like that? What have I done to them to deserve such looks?" With these thoughts, the boy reached home. The next day, Naruto, that was the boy's name, went for a walk around the village, catching the hateful glances of passers-by along the way. Having reached a lonely swing, he sat down on it and looked sadly at his feet. "It's that boy," the scarlet-haired man heard. "Mom, who is this?" asked the little pink-haired girl, noticing Naruto sitting alone. "And why does he look so sad?" "Sakura, this boy is an orphan, carrying a heavy burden on his shoulders. Thanks to him we are still alive," said Mabuki, who was familiar with Naruto's parents. With these words she struck the scarlet-haired man and he began to listen to what they were talking about. Many do not understand this, and because of the power that is hidden in him, therefore they hate and fear him, and set their children against him. It is because of this that he is lonely. Sakura looked sadly at the boy, and after 5 minutes of thought, she walked towards him. "Hello, what's your name?" Sakura asked, looking at the scarlet-haired man. "Hello, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and what's your name?" asked the stunned scarlet-haired man. "I'm Sakura Haruno. Why are you sitting here all alone?" the pink-haired girl asked. "I don't have any friends, and no one wants to be friends with me. They call me names and hate me all the time." Naruto sadly hung his head. "Do you want me to be your friend?" the girl suddenly asked, smiling sweetly. "A friend?" asked the stunned scarlet-haired man, to which he received a nod. "Yes, I really want to. You will be my first friend." "Well then, let's go play?" Sakura asked and went to the playground with Naruto. Naruto smiled sincerely at someone for the first time. And so the day passed. "Sakura, it's time to go home," the girl's mother shouted. "I'm coming, Mom," Sakura shouted while Naruto-kun, "I had fun with you. Let's go for a walk together sometime." "Bye Sakura-chan, come on," Naruto shouted after him and went home in a great mood, not noticing the looks directed at him. For the first time he met a person who didn't hate him. A month has passed. Naruto spent the entire month hanging out with Sakura. They became best friends, and also trained. Naruto trained himself in all directions, from mental development to banal taijutsu. It was already evening. Naruto was walking from training, when suddenly he heard a call for help. Recognizing the voice of his girlfriend, Naruto immediately ran towards the voice. Coming to one of the alleys, he saw how 3 hooligans were bullying Sakura. "Is it even natural for people to have such a terrible hair color?" one of the bullies mocked, pulling Sakura's hair. "And she herself is kind of ugly. Let her go," Naruto shouted. "Oh, look at the tomato-headed one, guys, let's teach him a lesson," said apparently the leader of the gang. "Yes, boss," the others answered and walked towards Naruto. Naruto didn't stand there like a pillar, but rushed at them in taijutsu. With one deft movement he knocked out one of his friends. The second wanted to hit Naruto, but the latter blocked the blow and delivered his own, which was also blocked. Sharply spinning, the scarlet-haired boy delivered a kick to the head, knocking out the second one. Then it was the turn of the gang leader, but he turned out to be stronger than the others, so the fight had already been going on for 15 minutes, and the hooligan began to run out of steam and make mistakes. "People are right when they say you're a demon," said the leader, jumping back for a breather. "I'm not a demon. And Sakura, in my opinion, is beautiful. And her hair matches her mistress's beauty," said Naruto, who was almost not out of breath. After all, Uzumaki's endurance and numerous trainings make themselves felt. Afterwards, Naruto performed an unnatural somersault while running, striking the bully and knocking him out. "Sakura-chan, how are you?" Naruto approached and asked Sakura, who was as red as Uzumaki's hair. "Why yes, thank you, Naruto-kun." "Tell me, do you really think I'm beautiful?" Sakura asked, blushing even more. "I always tell the truth, Sakura-chan," Naruto replied, blushing slightly. "And now let me walk you home." "Uh-huh," the girl answered. Mabuki couldn't find a place for herself. Sakura was already an hour late. She was about to go look for her when she saw her approaching her house with Naruto. "Sakura, where have you been? Do you have any idea how worried I was?" Mabuki ran out and hugged her daughter tightly. "Mom, some hooligans attacked me and started bullying me, and Naruto saved me by beating them up," Sakura said. "Thank you for saving my daughter, Naruto-kun," Mabuki thanked. "You're welcome, Mabuki-sama," Naruto replied, scratching the back of his head in embarrassment. "Well, I have to go. Goodbye, Mabuki-san, Sakura-chan." "Bye, Naruto-kun," mother and daughter said at the same time, and the latter waved her hand at him with a smile on her face. 5 years have passed since then. Naruto entered the academy, where he was the second in academic performance, of course after Uchiha Sasuke, but there were also his own problems. For example, he never succeeded in illusionary techniques, no matter how hard he tried, which greatly affected his mood, but Sakura always supported him, saying that if he tried, then sooner or later he would succeed. Naruto was grateful to her for her support. He also grew significantly and thanks to almost daily training became more toned, added muscle mass, which was ideal for his age. I don't know what is normal for the age of 12, so forgive me. Also thanks to the Uzumaki genes he had crazy endurance and chakra volumes, compared to other students, which was repeatedly noted by Iruka. "Quiet, class!" Iruka shouted, and when everyone calmed down, he continued, "So, since everyone has calmed down, I will continue. Today is your last class before the final exam from the academy, which will be held tomorrow. So today we will conduct a trial test so that you have a rough idea of the questions that will be on the exam and can prepare." Iruka handed out question papers and the students began answering the questions. An hour later, Iruka collected the answers and began checking them. "So, here is the result of today's testing. Haruno Sakura 85% of answers are correct. Uchiha Sasuke 99% of answers are correct. Uzumaki Naruto 90% of answers are correct. Akimichi Choji 50% is not bad, but you can do better, so prepare yourself. Nara Shikamaru 85% correct answers, well done. Aburaim Shino 75% not bad. Ino Yamanaka 45% doesn't look like you Ino, so prepare thoroughly. Inazuka Kiba 50%, Kiba surprises. Hinata Hyuga 89% well done. Iruka finished reporting the results. These are the results. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock there will be the exam itself. Prepare for it thoroughly. You can go free. The first thing Naruto did after the academy was to storm the library, in the literal sense of the word, because he was only allowed in there after the Hokage had given him the strongest brainwashing. But to his surprise, when he entered the library, he did not find the old witch, as Naruto nicknamed the librarian. Instead there was a man of about 45 years old with light brown hair, in some places with gray hair. He had brown eyes, and on his nose he had rectangular glasses, who was reading some novel. Approaching him, the scarlet-haired man showed his library card, and after his nod from the new librarian went to take books on illusionary techniques. Taking them, he approached the librarian. "Excuse me, can you add these books to my library card?" "Yes, of course," said the librarian, and having accepted the books, he began to copy the code from the stamp at the end of the book. "That's it, now you can take them with you, but you must return them within 15 days. "Thank you, I will definitely return them on time," Naruto shouted and went to the training ground. Naruto spent the whole day reading books and training illusionary clones. By the end of the day he managed to create a clone, though it looked like a jellyfish and dissipated after exactly a couple of seconds. "Damn it!" Naruto fell to the ground. "I can use any technique that they teach us well, but why can't I perform such a simple technique as illusionary cloning? I don't understand. I'm doing everything right, there's something different here." Having lain like that for a while, the guy, having come up with nothing, got up, took his books and headed home. Arriving home, he went to the bathroom. Having arrived there, he threw his red with blue elements tracksuit into the washing machine, and began water procedures. Having washed himself, he headed to the kitchen, where he cooked a light dinner. After eating, he took his textbooks and, like a model student, began to cram everything that was written there in order to successfully pass the exam. He studied everything until 1 in the morning and went to bed full of confidence. Having woken up, because of the hellish machine called an alarm clock, at 7 o'clock the scarlet-haired man went to the kitchen where he turned on the kettle and headed to the bathroom. Having done all his morning procedures, he headed to the room with a mug of coffee, where, sipping coffee, he began to collect his pouches. Taking them, he put in them a set of shurikens and kunai, a pack of training explosive tags, a set of senbons, a metal fishing line about 100 meters long. Taking them, he put them next to the prepared clean set of red tracksuit, and went to the kitchen. Having washed the dishes, he returned to the room and, having dressed, looked at the alarm clock, which showed 7:58. Having left the house, he closed the door behind him and headed towards the academy. Arriving there at 8:50, he entered the classroom and sat down in his seat. Exactly at 9 o'clock, Irika entered and, after checking for latecomers, began to talk about the exam. So, today you have a final exam. It consists of several stages. Stage 1. You will have a written test consisting of 10 questions, for which you are given half an hour. Stage 2. This is practice in throwing shurikens and kunai, as well as taijutsu. And the third stage. This is a practice in ninjutsu. You will need to choose one of the provided tickets. You can get absolutely any technique. And now, after I have explained all aspects of the exam to you, let's get started. Sakura, please hand out the tests. Irika finished and, having given Sakura the sheets, sat down at the teacher's desk. When all the tests were handed out, the students began writing the test. After 15 minutes, Sasuke finished the test and handed it to Irika and sat down. After another 3 minutes, Naruto handed in his work and also sat down. After another 15 minutes, Irika collected all the work and led the students to the training ground. The results are as follows: P/A first kunai, second shuriken. Sakura 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Kiba 6 out of 10, 6/10. Hinata 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Shikamaru 6/10, 8/10. Shino didn't throw. Choji 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Naruto September 10th, 10 out of 10. Sasuke 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Ino 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Now taijutsu, Irika announced, so, the first pair. Sakura vs Ino is a draw. Kiba vs Shino, Kiba defeated. Hinata vs No Name, Hinata wins. Shikamaru vs Choji, Shikamaru surrendered. Uzumaki Naruto vs Uchiha Sasuke. The two opponents stood opposite each other and waited for the signal from the sensei. Ready? Irika asked, and after he received nods, he said, let's start. Naruto didn't move from his place. Just like Sasuke, they analyzed each other, trying to find weak spots, which was a problem for Sasuke, since Naruto's red suit, due to the sunny weather, hit the opponent's eyes and it was difficult for him to focus his vision on the opponent. After standing like that for a while, Sasuke couldn't take it anymore and ran at Naruto. Sasuke's blow was blocked and counterattacked. Sasuke in turn blocked the scarlet-haired boy's blow and delivered his own counterblow, but it was also blocked. About 15 minutes had already passed in blocking each other's blows, and Sasuke began to slowly run out of steam. After all, Uzumaki, even though he was second after him, was a difficult opponent for him, although they were equal in taijutsu. But still Uzumaki's endurance was much higher than Sasuke's, and the latter understood this. Jumping back for a break, he began to wait for a response. Naruto didn't keep him waiting long, and, without giving his opponent time to catch his breath, attacked him again, wearing his opponent down. Because it's easier to defeat an exhausted opponent, he read this in a book on taijutsu and often used it when bullies attacked him. He simply wore them down, and then beat them up. That's exactly what he was doing now. A couple more blows and Sasuke was lying on the ground, out of breath. Naruto was hanging over him with his fist raised. The winner is Uzumaki Naruto, now make the unison sign, Irika said, noting something on his tablet. Next came the tickets, Everyone had already handed them in and left with armbands, and only Naruto remained. Taking the ticket and handing it to the sensei, he got illusory cloning. Naruto became nervous, which he had not been during the entire exam. Taking a deep breath and exhaling, he more or less calmed down. He folded the seals and said, "Illusory cloning." Something very reminiscent of a clone appeared next to the scarlet-haired boy and immediately dissipated. "Naruto, focus and try again," Irika said. She tried again, but was unsuccessful. "Maybe you should let him through, Irika. After all, he is second only to Sasuke Uchiha," said Mizuki. "Mizuki, you yourself understand that I can't. If he can't perform such a simple technique, then you yourself understand," said Irika. "But there are shinobi who use only taijutsu, like Guy, for example, or Rock Lee," Mizuki continued. "Yes, but unlike Naruto, they don't have it." "So, I'm sorry, Naruto, but you didn't pass," Irika finished sadly. Next comes the canonical theft of the scroll, but unlike canon, Naruto realized that Mizuki was pulling the wool over his eyes. "So, while I'm waiting for Mizuki, we can try studying the scroll." Opening the scroll, Naruto began to read it. The first one he came across was shadow cloning. Having thoroughly studied all the pros and cons of this technique, he tried to use it, which he succeeded in the second attempt. Naruto, delighted, began to read on. The second technique turned out to be Hiraishin. Having read the description, he realized that at the moment he did not have time to study it, so taking out the scroll, he rewrote everything about this technique and put it in his pouch. He began to study further. As a result, he learned clones and an improved Shunshin, which uses less chakra and fewer seals, or rather almost no seals, but was mistakenly recorded in a scroll with forbidden techniques. Next comes the canonical skirmish with Mizuki. The next day. "So, class, today you are distributed into teams of 3, you will be assigned a Jonin mentor, with whom you will carry out missions and gain experience," said the bandaged Irika. "So, Team 8, Inuzuka Kiba, Hinata Hyuga, Aburame Shino, your mentor Kurinai Yuhi, Team 7, Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, and Uchiha Sasuke, mentor Hatake Kakashi. Why is Lobesteya in the same squad as Sasuke-kun?" Ino was indignant. Using Shunshin, Naruto instantly moves behind Ino and holding a kunai to her throat, he says, "What did you call her, Yamanaka?" Naruto asked coldly. L-lobed, Ino somehow squeezed out. "Now listen to me carefully, Ino Pork. I will shoot point blank for Sakura in the yard. Not only is she my teammate, but she is also my only friend, and I will not allow any clan upstarts to pick on her if she does not want it," Naruto said intimidatingly. "Naruto, please calm down," Irika asked him, who had never noticed this in the scarlet-haired boy. "Let Ino Pork apologize to Sakura first," Naruto said. Forgive me, Sakura," Ino said in fear. "And nothing to worry about, Naruto, please let her go." Sakura tried to calm her friend. Having put away the kunai, Naruto sat down. "Thank you," Sakura said quietly. "You're welcome," Naruto answered in the same way and smiled at his friend. "So, let's continue," Irika said. Team 10 Yamanaka Ino, Shikamaru Nara, Akimichi Choji. "That's all, wait for your mentors." An hour later, all the genin, except for the 7th team, were taken away by the Jonin mentors. Sasuke silently looked out the window, Sakura hummed something, and Naruto read the scroll with the Hiraishin and, following the instructions, tried to create his own transfer seal. "What are you doing?" Sakura suddenly asked, looking at her best friend's actions. "I'm trying to learn a very interesting technique," Naruto replied, throwing away another unsuccessful piece of paper. "What's it called?" the kunoichi asked again. "Sorry, Sakura, but for now it's a secret, but when I study it, you'll be surprised," Naruto answered with a smile. "Is there any progress?" the pink-haired girl continued to ask. "Unfortunately, no," Naruto answered. "It's strange, you usually don't have problems with techniques, unless they're illusory, of course," Sakura joked with her friend. "It's just too complicated, but I'll learn it or I'm not Uzumaki Naruto," Naruto said confidently, raising his finger, and at that moment Kakashi walked in. "It's a bit stuffy here, send us to the roof," said Hatake and disappeared in a cloud of smoke. "You go, I'll catch up," Naruto said and stood up and began to collect the scroll. Having collected it, he moved with Shunshin to the roof, which surprised Kakashi, but the latter did not show it. When Sasuke and Sakura got up, they saw the following picture: Kakashi reading his favorite book in Naruto, who was also reading, but a scroll. How the hell did he get here before us? Uchiha was amazed, and Sakura didn't react at all, but simply sat down next to Uzumaki. So, since everyone's gathered, let's get acquainted, Kakashi said boredly, closing the book. Set an example for us, Sakura asked. Okay. My name is Hatake Kakashi. There are many things I don't like. And there are few things I like. You don't need to know my dreams and goals. Now you, Kakashi pointed at Sakura. My name is Sakura Harino. I love many things, in particular one guy. With these words she looked towards Uchiha. I don't like when someone is hated because of something they don't understand. With these words she looked at Naruto. It's clear now that you're a brunette, said Kakashi. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. There are many things I don't like, and few things I like. I don't have a dream, but I have a goal to revive my clan and kill one person. Now it's clear you're a tomato. After these words, a huge wave of ki rushed from Naruto, hair like Minato in Kurama's veil, rose into the air, and his face distorted in anger. Kakashi, seeing this, caught flashbacks with Kushina. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I can't stand tomatoes, and when people call me names for my scarlet hair, I hate when people are judged by the cover and because of what they don't understand. I love so little. I don't have a dream, but I have a goal to surpass the 4th Hokage, and also beat you up. With these words Naruto, who during his monologue was getting closer and closer to Kakashi, hit him in the pain point with such force that Kakashi almost flew over the railing. Naruto, calm down! Sakura shouted, and the scarlet-haired man instantly regained control of himself and returned to his place. So tomorrow you will have survival training, tomorrow at the 7th training ground at 5 o'clock, and I advise you not to eat anything, you might throw up, said Kakashi, rubbing his side and leaving the roof. Ugh, what a punch you have, Naruto. On his way home Naruto saw happy families. This made his soul heavy, and, as luck would have it, this continued throughout his entire journey home. Arriving home Naruto felt even heavier at heart. Going to the bed he lay down and, turning on his side, began to look at the Hokage mountain with eyes filled with tears, and wondering who his parents were. After lying like that until night, something clicked in his head and he started running around the house with his eyes wide open in search of a book about all the famous Hokages. Where is she? Naruto didn't let up and looked into the desk drawer and exhaled. I found it. Scrolling through the penultimate page he found information about Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, and began to carefully examine the portrait. He began to notice some similarities with him, for example, the shape of the face and eyes. Turning the page he found a photo of his wife, and then all the cards fell into place. I am the son of the 4th Hokage, Naruto said in shock, and then confidently continued. No, I need to ask the Hokage to make sure, but not today. It's already late and the 3rd is probably already resting. Having put the book on the table, he undressed and went to bed. Having got up, according to the invention of the demon, called the alarm clock, exactly at 4 o'clock he washed himself, drank 2 cups of coffee, ate. He did not figure out his sensei. He simply forgot about this condition because of the received, possibly true, information about his parents. Having gathered himself, the red-haired man went out into the street of the morning Konoha, and went to the training ground. Arriving exactly at 5, Uzumaki noticed sleepy Sasuke and Sakura. After greeting them, he lay down under a tree and began to drive chakra through the channels. As he read in one book, this will help improve its control. Closer to 9 o'clock, the most reliable and on-time guy in this anime showed himself to the world, Kakashi Hatake. Hello everyone. Sorry I'm late. A black cat just ran across the road. I had to go around it. Kakashi started to make excuses. And you decided to go around through the mist village, am I right? Naruto sneered. Your task for today's exam will be to take these bells from me. Kakashi showed them 2 bells tied to each other with a red ribbon. Whoever fails will return to the academy. But there are only 2 bells, Sakura said excitedly. It's simple, someone will go to the academy anyway. Kakashi smiled. And now, on my signal. Let's begin. In an instant the clearing became empty. Realizing that he couldn't handle it on his own, Naruto went looking for his team to offer him a job on the team. Finding Uchiha first and offering him the idea, he refused, saying, You'll only get in the way. Sighing, Naruto went looking for Sakura, and offering her the idea, she agreed, and they began to develop a plan. Nodding to each other, they parted. You decided to attack alone? It's not smart of you. Kakashi commented on Uzumaki's appearance in the clearing. Naruto, without answering, rushed forward and attacked Sensei at high speed, but the latter, without taking his eyes off the book, began to dodge the attacks. Naruto only smiled. And suddenly Kakashi gets hit from behind. Kakashi had to put the book away, as it became more difficult for him to hold back the onslaught of the two. Kakashi sharply hit the clone with a kunai, thinking that it would dissipate, but instead the clone simply fell, and in his opinion the original evaporated. Original? Oh shit! Kakashi said and wanted to provide first aid. He was already leaning towards him when suddenly kunai flew at him. Bouncing off Naruto, he saw Sakura, who attacked him with a kunai. Reflecting the attack, he buried her under the ground. The exam is over, Kakashi said, and approached the wounded Naruto, when suddenly he was sweating. Sakura is coming! Naruto shouted. And the owner of pink hair jumps out of the bushes and instantly cuts off the bells. Looking at the Sakura he buried, he saw only a log. But when? Kakashi's eyes were like 5 kopecks. The first rule of shinobi, don't underestimate your opponent, Naruto said. Rule number 2, continued Sakura, giving the second bell to Naruto. A real shinobi never reveals his secrets to the enemy. As a result, Uchiha was tied to the tree. Degree my verdict, this test was about teamwork. Naruto, Sakura, you have good teamwork, but you forgot about Sasuke, that's why you failed. Just remember, Kakashi-sensei, I suggested Uchiha to work together, to which he replied, I quote, work in a team with you? Step aside! You will only get in the way, said Naruto. Well, if that's the case, then Naruto and Sakura go through, and you, Uchiha Sasuke, return to the academy, said Kakashi, and began to look at their reaction. It's not funny, Kakashi-sensei. For some reason I've never seen a team of 2. Especially since Sasuke, although he thinks highly of himself, is still our teammate, and if you don't agree with this, then I think the Hokage won't be very pleased to learn about this, Naruto said. Well done, you passed. In the shinobi world, those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon their comrades are much worse. Kakashi smiled. Tomorrow I'll be waiting for you at the residence at 8 o'clock. After seeing Sakura off, Naruto went home to the Hokage's residence to resolve the issue regarding his parents. Arriving there, he went up to the right floor and was about to knock on the office door when he suddenly heard. No, Danzo, I won't give him to you. Naruto is Minato's son, and he would never give him to you. The third's words shocked the scarlet-haired boy, and he went to the Hokage's mountain. So it's true. My parents are the 4th Hokage and his wife Kushina Uzumaki, Naruto stated the fact. Team 7 had been doing D-rank missions for a month now. Naruto had been trying hard to learn Hiraishin, but there had been no progress at all. They were currently at the Kage residence to receive their next mission. So, Team 7, today you have a C-rank mission, said the Hokage. What is the purpose of the mission? Naruto got straight to the point, since he always took missions seriously, except for the beloved D-rank. Accompany the architect to the land of waves. Cat, please invite Tazuna-san to us. Hi, said the purple-haired Umbu. About 15 minutes later, a gray-haired man with glasses, a large beard and dark eyes walked into the office. He was wearing a V-neck shirt with sleeves with an obi belt, pants and a pair of sandals. He also wore a towel around his neck and a pointed cap on his head. After examining the genin, he said, And these children will protect me. They themselves need protection. Are they even shinobi? Especially that little tomato, Let's remember Tazuna, because here Naruto, just like Kushina, does not like being called that, although you understood this from the previous chapters. What did you just say? Naruto shouted. His hair stood up like Minato when he activated Kurama's cloak, and began to release ki, P/A, Bloody Habanero 2.0 mode activated, and began to slowly advance on poor Tazuna. Have mercy! Shouted poor Tazuna, who had already managed to sober up from Naruto's ki directed at him, and looked at Kage and Kakashi, but they threw up their hands as if to say, we are out of control, you'll have to deal with it yourself. Naruto meanwhile came close to Tazuna and in a jump grabbed him by the beard and pulled him down. Now listen to me carefully, drunkard, it costs me nothing to kill you, So don't make me angry, you understand? He shouted the last words. Why yes. Tazuna was already sweating from fear. Don't worry, Grandpa, we'll get you home safe and sound, the scarlet-haired boy said in a kind voice with a smile. I got away with it, said everyone present, well, except for Sasuke of course, M/A. Wow, I really got away with it. I even made myself tremble from what I wrote. That's what it means to get in touch with Uzumaki. Tomorrow at 8 at the main gate. Don't be late, said Tazuna and ran away so fast that Minato and the Hiraishin looked like snails. M/A. Wow, he's running around. But he seems like an ordinary old man. When everyone left, only Hiruzen remained in the office and he said, he definitely got his character from Kushina, just as unpredictable. I wonder if all Uzumaki are like that, said the third, smoking his pipe. As soon as Naruto left the residence, he said goodbye to his team and headed to the training ground. I'll definitely be able to create it today, Naruto said confidently as he walked to the training ground. Arriving at one of the most distant and abandoned training grounds, Naruto took out a scroll with Hiraishin and began to try to create a mark again. After 2 hours of unsuccessful attempts. Damn you! What am I doing wrong? Naruto was furious, squeezing another failed version. Maybe I should go ask Kakashi-sensei? Naruto thought, yeah, I guess I'll do that. Naruto got up and went to look for Kakashi, which took him a good half of the day. Eventually, in despair, he headed home. Passing by the cemetery, Naruto finally found him. Turning around, the scarlet-haired man headed towards him. Good evening, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said, approaching him. Good Naruto, what did you want? Kakashi smiled because Naruto brought him out of his sad memories. I wanted to ask you for advice. Uzumaki hesitated. Really? And what did you want to know? Asked Kakashi, interested. This concerns one technique, said Naruto. The thing is that I can't master the first stage, although I do everything as it says in the scroll. Let's go to the training ground where you'll show me everything and together we'll try to solve your problem. Kakashi smiled. At the training ground. And what kind of technique is this? Kakashi asked. This is the technique that made the fourth Hokage famous as the yellow lightning of Konoha, Hiraishin. Naruto said. Hiraishin! Kakashi's visible eye. Why didn't you want to learn Sensei's technique? Yes, but I can't understand my mistake, so I turned to you, Naruto said and demonstrated his attempts so that Kakashi could find the mistake in his actions. Naruto, this technique is difficult in itself, but since you've taken it on, you have to learn it. First of all, what is your element? Kakashi asked. Element? The scarlet-haired man didn't understand. I see, said Kakashi and took out some leaves. Run your chakra through these leaves so that we can find out your element. After that, Kakashi took the leaf and demonstrated it. After passing his chakra through the leaf, the latter crumpled. Wow! Naruto was amazed. What does this mean? If the leaf is crumpled like mine, it is lightning. If it gets wet, water. If it tears, wind. If it burns, fire. If it rots, earth. Now let's find out your element, said Kakashi and gave Naruto 5 leaves. Run your chakra through each of the leaves and we will find out your element, and perhaps more than one. Taking the leaf in his hand, Naruto directed chakra into it. As a result, the first one crumpled, the second one tore and the third one burned. Nothing happened to the rest. So I see, you have 3 elements at such an early age. You amazed me, Naruto. Few people have awakened their element, and 2 more are completely out of the realm of fantasy, commented the amazed Kakashi. So, I can't help you with Hiraishin, but there are 3 people in the village who can use this technique. Right after this mission, I'll talk to one of them. If he agrees, he'll help you with training. But for now, put it aside, Kakashi said, and after a minute of thought, continued, I have a technique that the 4th one also invented, called Rasengan. Kakashi extended his hand and created a Rasengan. Sensei created it for about 3 years. It has rank A. If you want, I can ask the Hokage for a scroll with it, Kakashi suggested. Come on! Uzumaki exclaimed. Well, okay, tomorrow before we leave, let's go to the Hokage and ask him, said Kakashi, and they parted. The next day. 8:15. So where are Naruto and Kakashi? Sakura was indignant, when suddenly the previously mentioned ones appeared next to them in 2 shunshins. So where have you been? Sakura asked. With the Hokage, and now we're moving out. Kakashi answered briefly and they moved out. Team 7 had been walking towards the land of waves for over a day when they suddenly noticed a puddle that no one but Kakashi and Naruto had noticed. It's strange, there's a puddle in the middle of the road, although it hasn't rained for about a month, Naruto thought. Kakashi Sensei also seems to have noticed the catch. Okay, let's see what he wants to do, and in the meantime I'll prepare for a possible attack. It seems Naruto noticed the catch, thought Kakashi, seeing what was happening to his students. Although his character is basically like Kushina-sama, he is focused on the mission like Minato-sensei. It is immediately obvious that he is his son. The team walked through the puddle and literally a minute later, the demon brothers tore Kakashi in half. Sakura screamed. Naruto reacted instantly, took out a kunai and blocked the enemy's attack. Sasuke, although belatedly, also blocked. The genins blocked every blow from the enemy. Naruto decided it was time to finish and jumped back sharply, created 5 clones and together with them neutralized Gozu, and ran to help Sasuke. Although they did not like each other, they acted in a coordinated manner. And after another 15 minutes they neutralized Meizu. Well done Naruto, Sasuke, well done. Sakura not so much, said Kakashi, after which he took Gozu and Meizu and went somewhere and began torturing them. After 15 minutes he returned and began to interrogate Tazuna, basically, as in the canon before the training. So, today I will begin your training. First, you will train chakra control. For this you need to climb a tree without hands. Kakashi-sensei, I already know how to do this, Naruto said and, to prove his words, climbed a tree under the shocked looks of his teammates. Memory. Naruto was at one of the abandoned training grounds and was reading a book about chakra and its control. He was just on a course on awakening and controlling chakra. So, for better chakra control, a simple leaf is not enough. To improve control, a shinobi needs to learn to climb a tree without hands. The scarlet-haired man read. To do this, you need to send chakra to your legs and find a happy medium. If you don't have enough chakra, you'll fall, and if you have too much, the tree will break. Got it. After a month of training, Naruto learned to walk perfectly on vertical surfaces and on water. End of memory. Okay Naruto, then start mastering the technique, and if you learn it during our stay in the land of waves, I will talk to Gunma about your training, said Kakashi. I won't let you down, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said and opened the scroll and began to read its contents. An hour later, Naruto finished the theoretical part and headed to the market for balls and balls. Having bought them, he went to the river and filled half of the balls with water and began to go through the first stage rotation. Naruto spent 3 days to pass the first stage and move on to the second stage strength. It took him 4 days to get to this stage. It was evening and Tazuna's family, together with team number 7, were having dinner and discussing their progress. I'm surprised Naruto, to complete 2 stages out of 3 in a week, although as I said, the 4th one took more than 3 years to create. Yes, but I can't do anything with the last stage yet. But I'll definitely finish mastering it by the time we return, Naruto said, raising his chopsticks above himself. You will definitely learn it, I am sure of it Naruto, said Sakura, and here Inari could not stand it. Your stupid training is a waste of time. Gato has an army, he will defeat and destroy you. Your training means nothing, I am convinced. The weak will never defeat the strong. You do not know what it is like to lose loved ones, Inari shouted. Unlike you, I know. The whole village hates me. My parents died right after I was born. I've been alone my whole life. You have a loving mother and grandfather who will protect you. But I have no one except my close friend. Naruto flared up and getting up from the table, walked towards the exit. I'm sorry about this. Naruto decided to channel his anger into something useful, training the Rasengan. Arriving at the clearing, he created 60 clones and began training the technique. Closer to midnight he managed to pass the 3rd stage. He had a perfect blue sphere of Rasengan in his hand. When he hit the tree with it, it fell with a loud crack. It worked, now we need to reduce the time for creation. Eventually, around 4 o'clock, he ran out of chakra and passed out. He managed to reduce the creation time to 3 seconds. Kakashi became worried when he didn't find Naruto in the morning and went to look for him. Haku was collecting, P/A, yes, here he is a girl, With his name and appearance, I can't write about him as a boy, herbs. When suddenly she noticed unnaturally fallen trees. Taking out a kunai, she went there, and was stunned. In the middle of the clearing lay a scarlet-haired guy of about 13 years old, and then suddenly she remembers that this is one of the genin of Konoha. Approaching him, she wanted to kill him, but, "Hey boy, if you lie here, you'll freeze and get sick." Haku shook him. Yes, Haku is a girl again. I wanted to make her a boy at first, like in canon, but something went wrong, or rather, with his appearance, I can't bring myself to call him a boy. Sharply opening his eyes, the guy jumped away from Haku, taking out a kunai. "Who are you?" Naruto asked threateningly. "Sorry for scaring you. I was just collecting herbs to cure my friend," apologized Haku. "I see that you are lying here." "Then you need to go over there. There are only poisonous ones here," Naruto said, pointing to the clearing next door. "Thank you," said Haku and went to that clearing. "Hey Naruto, are you there?" Sakura shouted, looking for her scarlet-haired friend, and saw him surrounded by fallen trees. "Wow! Good morning, Sakura." The scarlet-haired boy greeted his friend. 3 days later, a battle was taking place on the bridge between Zabuza, Haku, and Sasuke, while Naruto was at Tazuna's house, guarding his family. "Hey! Sasuke screamed. "Damn it, I need to help Sasuke!" Kakashi cursed and ran in that direction, but Zabuza stopped him. "I am your opponent," Zabuza said. "Rasengan!" Naruto shouted and broke one of the mirrors. Once inside, he saw Sasuke Porcupine, no pulse. He was covered by a powerful wave of pure, uncontrollable hatred in the form of a cloak of orange chakra with one tail. Everyone present felt it. "Oh no!" Kakashi shouted. "We need to finish this quickly." "What is this? What power?" Haku was amazed and began to throw Saban at him, but they simply flew off after hitting him. "I'll kill you!" Naruto growled and destroyed all the mirrors with a wave of orange chakra, and then began to beat Haku at great speed, and now he delivers the final blow to the head and Haku falls. Suddenly Naruto turns to the other end of the bridge and sees Gato's army there. The scarlet-haired man's thunderous roar was heard and he rushed there at great speed. A little later Zabuza joined him. Together they destroyed the entire army and Gato himself, but not without losses, in the form of Zabuza. And only after that the Kyuubi chakra stopped affecting the scarlet-haired man, after which Naruto lost consciousness. Young Uzumaki woke up from the sound of falling water. Looking around he saw a corridor with numerous passages. "Where am I?" Naruto asked, his words echoing. Suddenly he felt an incredibly strong wave of uncontrollable rage, exactly the same as when he saw Sasuke's body. Not having thought of anything smarter than to find the source of this terrifying chakra, he headed forward. Walking along the corridors, he noticed some oddities. For example, looking into one of the passages, he noticed a moment from training. In another he found the moment of meeting Hiruzen. Going further, he found the moment of meeting Sakura. Then he saw the memory of opening the hearth and Irika's shocked face when he found out that the scarlet-haired man opened it in just half a day. Going further, his gaze fell on the most distant memory, a memory associated with his parents. He saw the cloudy face of a scarlet-haired girl, blood coming from her mouth, and behind her in the same state stood a yellow-haired man, and they were saying something to him. After standing for a while, the scarlet-haired man went further. He discovered one of his very first memories from his childhood. He sees how someone holds him in his arms, while holding a kunai to his throat, and then a flight and again strong male hands, but filled with love for him. A moments are made based on the sensations of the body at that moment, or something like that. As he walked further, he also noticed memories associated with his childhood, both pleasant and not so pleasant. So it's my subconscious. It finally reached the scarlet-haired man. Walking further, he noticed a door. Opening it, he went inside and found a huge room, so huge that the ceiling was not visible. In the middle of this room stood a golden cage with a piece of paper in the middle, on which there was only one inscription, seal. "He has finally appeared," someone said from the darkness. "Kyuubi?" Naruto asked. "No, damn it, your grandma." The fox growled. "What a stupid question. Of course I'm Kyuubi." "Sorry." The scarlet-haired man apologized and silence reigned. "Excuse me again, but I wanted to ask you, why did you attack Konoha that day?" asked the scarlet-haired man. I was taken under control and forced to attack. Although, I wouldn't mind attacking her again, the fox answered. Why do you hate our village so much? Naruto asked. I don't give a damn about the village, I hate you humans. You enslaved us and started sealing us, and all for what? For the sake of strength, to continue fighting among yourselves. The fox growled. But not all people are as bad as you say, the guy answered, puzzled. And this is being told to me by a man who just killed more than 50 people, said the fox and showed Naruto the moment of the massacre on the bridge. It wasn't me. I couldn't do it. The scarlet-haired man began to have a panic attack. You are all of this. You killed them, and they may have had families, children, like you, Naruto. And now their children will never see their fathers or husbands or sons. And you are to blame for all of this. You and your nature to tear each other's throats out. And after that you say that not all people are like that. The fox began a psychic attack. The space began to float. The pressure was strong. And in reality, Naruto was covered by a cloak of 4 tails. But suddenly one of the rooms lit up and began to drive away the darkness, and his girlfriend's voice was heard. Naruto, fight him, you must fight. After all, you are my friend Uzumaki Naruto. Sakura's voice rang out and a picture appeared before the blonde. Kakashi holds a crying Sakura, who is trying to get to him, and next to her lies an unconscious Sasuke. Meanwhile on the bridge, Kakashi wanted to go and pick up Naruto, but he was thrown back by a wave of chakra. A shroud formed around Naruto, tails appeared one after another, until there were 4 of them. And Naruto! Sakura shouted and ran towards the scarlet-haired man, but was stopped by Kakashi. Sakura has taken possession of him. The power of the fox cannot be approached now, Kakashi shouted, trying to hold back the pink-haired girl. Naruto, fight him, you have to fight! You are not the demon fox, you are my friend Uzumaki Naruto! Sakura screamed. Suddenly the 4-tailed cloak growled loudly and began to fall off. Everyone was presented with the appearance of Uzumaki. All his skin was covered in burns, his gaze became meaningful again, and he fell in pain. Thank you, Sakura, Naruto managed to say before losing consciousness. The scarlet-haired man woke up in the room that Tsunami had given them. You finally woke up, Kakashi said. Do you remember what happened yesterday? No, but I can guess. When I saw the wounded Sasuke, I lost control of myself, and then there was emptiness. The last thing I remember is Sakura calling me, and I followed her voice, and then pain, intense pain, like your skin is being torn off. It seems I killed a lot of people. People are right when they say I'm a demon. The scarlet-haired man hung his head. No, Naruto, it wasn't you. The fox took over your mind out of anger and attacked the closest targets, which turned out to be those mercenaries. If you were a demon, even when you heard Sakura's voice, you wouldn't have been able to overcome the power of the Kyuubi. Kakashi reassured him. You're probably right, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto smiled weakly. Naruto did nothing for the next week. After all, the wounds inflicted by the Kyuubi's chakra are not so easy to heal. 3 days later they went to the leaf. Report to Kakashi, Hiruzen said. The customer lowered the rank of the mission, but we decided to finish the mission so as not to undermine the reputation of the village. During the mission we were attacked by demon brothers, with whom Naruto and Sasuke quickly dealt. Then we were attacked by Zabuza Momochi. During the battle I was caught in a trap, but Sasuke and Naruto distinguished themselves here too, pulling me out of it. Then everything was calm. I conducted training in chakra control, but it turned out that Uzumaki already has good chakra control, which is surprising because of who is sitting in him. I decided to give him the scroll with the Rasengan, which I asked you before leaving. Hokage-sama, he learned this technique in an unfortunate 2 weeks. Then we were attacked again by Zabuza. It turned out that the Oyen who took his body at the first meeting was his accomplice. During the battle, Uchiha Sasuke was wounded. The enemy used a strange technique. But when Naruto appeared, everything began to change for the worse. When he noticed the wounded Sasuke, the Kyuubi chakra awakened in him. His hatred took control of the guy, and if at first it was expressed simply in changes in appearance, then in the end everything got out of control. I intended to stop Naruto, but by the time I got to him he already had 4 tails. He struck me with one of the tails. When I thought that I could not stop him, Sakura headed towards him, but I stopped her. But then she distinguished herself. Somehow she managed to reach the mind of Uzumaki and the veil began to fall. The next morning I asked him about what happened, but he did not remember anything. The following week was healing. For Naruto, the Kyuubi chakra caused serious burns. As soon as Naruto came to a more or less normal state, we went back to the village, Kakashi reported. The Kyuubi's chakra has awakened, and it seems that the Kyuubi's hatred is stronger than Naruto's willpower at the moment, but it seems that Haruno Sakura can calm the Uzumaki down at a critical moment. But what will we do if it stops working? Okay, we won't do anything for now, but I'm not sure if it can happen again. You can go, Kakashi, Hiruzen said. 3 days have passed since Kakashi's report. So, Naruto, as I promised, I talked to the man who studied Hiraishin. His name is Gunma Shirani. Kakashi introduced the Jonin standing next to him. So you're the one Kakashi told me about? Gunma asked. Yes, Gunma-san, Naruto replied. Okay, then let's get started, Gunma said. Then I won't bother you, said Kakashi and disappeared into Shunshin. So let's start with the theory. What do you know about Hiraishin? Gunma asked. Hiraishin Jikuken Ninjutsu, rank S, developed by the second Hokage, Senju Tobirama, which allows the user to move incredibly quickly from one place to another. The transfer seals are a kind of beacon in the space to which the user must move, Naruto said. Right, now listen. To make a transfer seal, you need good knowledge of Fuin. So here's your assignment. Take a book on Fuinjutsu from the library and study it, and only after you create your seal will we begin the second stage of training. In the meantime, you don't have this book. We'll train your chakra control, since this technique requires perfect control, and we'll also train your vestibular system so that you don't have problems with orientation while using the technique, Gunma said. Now we're heading to the river, where the training will take place. What should I do, Gunma-sensei? Naruto asked. Walk on water, Gunma said, and as soon as Naruto found himself on the river he shouted, Ready? For what? Naruto asked, and the answer was a kunai thrown at him. Dodging it, he lost control and fell under the water. Emerging, he said, Do you want to kill me? No, this way we will improve your chakra control and agility at the same time. Your task will be not to lose control and at the same time not to get hit by kunai and shurikens. Gunma smiled predatorily, chewing saban. About 2 months of training have passed. Once again, Gunma shouted. Hiraishin no Jutsu, said the scarlet-haired man, and with a slight slowdown disappeared in a blue flash and exactly 30 seconds later appeared next to the fourth kunai. Slowly. The fourth one could teleport in a matter of seconds. Gunma made his verdict. It takes me a long time to feel the seal, Naruto thought. I guess I'll have to use one of my blanks. Naruto took out a kunai with 2 blades, which he had once found, though later the Taki ninja hunted for it. But everything ended well and he was even allowed to keep this kunai. On this kunai was tied a small piece of paper, half the size of a VR tag, in a vertical cut. On it was the inscription, Happiness, Dream, Joy, Love, Mother, Father. Excellent, I can feel this seal very well. Naruto smiled. Gunma-sensei! Naruto shouted and threw the kunai at him, so that it flew past the sensei's head. Gunma dodged, and as soon as the kunai was behind him, Naruto instantly disappeared. Then Gunma felt the cold metal on his neck. How do you like this speed, Gunma-sensei? Naruto asked, letting go of Gunma. Now that's a different matter. So, you managed to create the formula after all? Gunma asked. Yes, this is one of my preparations and, as it turned out, the most successful one, the scarlet-haired man answered. Amazing, to learn Hiraishin in just 2 months, and just like Minato-sama. Incredible. Although knowing who his parents are, I didn't expect anything less from him, Gunma thought and continued out loud. Now we can move on to the final stage of training, the ability to effectively use this technique in combat. But we'll start tomorrow, and that's all for today. Prepare more transfer seals. Another month of training passed. Naruto could more or less use Hiraishin in battle. Now he was walking towards the bridge, where he was supposed to meet Kakashi. Hello everyone! The scarlet-haired man greeted, approaching his team. Hello Naruto, where have you been? You're hardly ever home, don't you show up for missions? Sakura asked. At training. The scarlet-haired man answered briefly. Training won't help a loser like you. Sasuke said. Who's the loser here? You yourself don't know anything except the fireball. Naruto snapped. At least I don't have problems with cloning, unlike you. Sasuke threw back. How do you like this? Shadow cloning. Naruto said without making seals. 10 clones appeared near him. What did you eat? Sakura and Sasuke stood in mute shock. He didn't even make a seal. Is that possible? They both thought mentally. I see that training with Genma has done you good, said Kakashi, standing on the pole and seeing all this. Yes, Kakashi-sensei, we are almost done with the final stage of learning the technique. I can already use it much more effectively in battle, Naruto said. You had to ask someone to teach you cloning. I told you were a loser, Sasuke said. I don't need your useless illusionary clones, Naruto replied. Why did you call us Kakashi-sensei? Sakura decided to defuse the situation. Yes. Why did you pull me out of training? The scarlet-haired man agreed. I recommended you for the Chunin exam, but whether or not to participate is entirely your choice. The ash-haired man replied, handing over the forms. Chunin exam? There will probably be strong opponents there, and if I deal with them, I'll be one step closer to my goal, Sasuke thought, taking the form. The Chunin exam is a great opportunity to rise in rank and test your strength. I wonder how quickly my father passed it, Naruto thought. If you agree to participate, then come to room 301 in a week, Kakashi said and disappeared into the Shunshin. Well, I guess I'll go too. I need to finish training, Naruto said and disappeared into the Shunshin. The rest of the week was spent training and preparing for the exam. At the entrance, under the trees, stood Sasuke, waiting for his command. Hello, Sasuke-kun, where is Naruto? Sakura asked. It looks like this loser got scared and didn't take this exam, Sasuke replied. If there's one person I didn't expect to see here, it's you, Naruto snapped, appearing in a whirlwind of leaves. Boys, calm down and go take the exam, Sakura said. As they passed by Auditorium 201, they were surprised by the number of weaklings. Moving on, they reached the right auditorium. Oh, and you were called here too, said Shikamaru. Wow, I didn't expect to see you here, Shikamaru, Naruto said. After talking for another half hour, the examiner appeared and announced the start of the exam, where everything went canonically, but Naruto was not stupid. The second stage too, until Sasuke's bite. Orochimaru extended his neck and was about to put a curse seal on Sasuke when suddenly there was a blue flash and Sasuke disappeared, and Naruto was in his place. Ogo Hiraition, it's a pity that it didn't work out with Sasuke, but you'll get away with it too, Orochimaru hissed and disappeared. Immediately after the bite, a mark in the form of 3 tomo appeared on Naruto's neck, which began to hurt unbearably. Hey! Naruto! Sakura shouted, catching the falling body of the scarlet-haired man. From severe pain, the scarlet-haired man lost consciousness, basically, like Uchiha, then, as in canon. Finish her, kin, Zaka said. The brunette smiled and began to raise the kunai to kill Sakura, when suddenly a scarlet spot flashed and kin flew into a nearby tree. It was Naruto, but his appearance had changed. His scarlet hair was disheveled, his eyes were scarlet with a vertical pupil, the whisker-shaped scars had become much clearer, fangs and claws appeared, purple chakra hovered around him, but the most noticeable difference was the strange pattern that enveloped the entire left side of the scarlet-haired man. You're next, Naruto said and went to Zaku. One blow and all the ribs were broken, and Zaku himself was stuck in a tree. Approaching the last one, he twisted his arms and wanted to tear them out. Naruto, stop! Sakura shouted and hugged Naruto from behind. Only if you want it, Naruto said, and the pattern began to disappear, once again transforming into a drawing of 3 tomo. What did I miss? Sasuke said, standing up. Nothing, Naruto said coldly and raising the scroll said, Let's go to the tower. On the way to the tower, Naruto felt the urge and he went into the bushes. Suddenly he heard a woman scream and a bear's roar. Without hesitating for a second, Naruto climbed a tree, and looking in the direction of the sound saw a huge bear that was stepping on some scarlet-haired girl. Without hesitating for a second, Naruto took out a kunai with a mark and, having filled it with wind chakra, threw it towards the bear and created a Rasengan, but due to the size of the animal, he poured in more chakra, thereby creating a Dakanjo Rasengan, a semi-lighter version of the Otama Rasengan. Naruto uses it in the movie Naruto Shippuden Bonds, and as soon as the kunai is near the bear, it teleports to it and hits the beast with it. Are you okay? Naruto asked, handing her the glasses. Why yes, thank you, she said, looking at Naruto. The owner of Crimson Eyes involuntarily admired Naruto, and for his age he looked quite good. Well, that's great, Naruto said and headed in the direction he came from. Wait! Karen shouted, and when he stopped, she continued, What's your name? Uzumaki Naruto, said Naruto, and continued on his way. And I'm Karen, she shouted back, to which the scarlet-haired man nodded. My name is Gecko Hate, I am the examiner of the next stage, but before that we will hold the qualifying battles. Since too many teams have passed, you can use everything you have. You can leave the exam now if you are not feeling well. I guess I won't take part, said Kabuto and left the arena. So if this is all, then the first fight will be between Sabaka no Temari and Tenten. Those named remain, the rest go up to the balcony. So, let's begin, the examiner commanded and walked away. P/A. I will not describe all the battles, only a few will be described. Winner of dog fight. Next fight is Shikamaru Nara vs Tsuchikin. Winner, Shikamaru Nara. Next fight, Uzumaki Naruto vs Inuzuka Kiba. Kiba. Be careful, he is second after Sasuke, Kurinai said. Okay, Kurinai-sensei, said Kiba and jumped onto the arena. Naruto walked down to the arena, slowly trying to irritate Kiba as much as possible. And then Naruto finally walked down to the arena. Are you kidding me? Kiba shouted. Something wrong, Mutt? Naruto asked in an icy voice. Fight. Gecko shouted and jumped back. Kiba flew at Uzumaki and started a fight in taijutsu where Uzumaki dominated. Naruto bounced off Kiba, folding seals, said Futon. Wind Blade. Naruto, in addition to the Hiraishin, taught the techniques of his elements, improved speed and fights in taijutsu, and also taught Fuin. Numerous wind blades flew at Kiba. Kiba dodged each one. When the scarlet-haired man got tired of it, he rushed at the dog handler in taijutsu, continuing to wear him down. Quickly striking the genin could only see a scarlet spot, but the Chunin and Jonin saw what Naruto was doing. Bouncing off Kiba, who was out of breath, said, Are you out of breath, dog owner? And I'm just warming up. Naruto smiled predatorily and folded the seals and said Katan/Futon, fire wind. Naruto blew out a strong wave of hot wind, which rushed towards Kiba. In the stands. Incredible! To combine two elements into one, this is something a Jonin, if not higher, can do. All the Jonin, Chunin and Genin were amazed. Let's get back to Kiba. The dog handler somehow dodged a wave of hot wind, but another one flew at him, which he was unable to dodge. He was blown into the wall of the arena, and his skin, due to the fact that his technique was weakened, received second-degree burns. The winner is Uzumaki Naruto, Gecko announced. Next fight is Hinata Hyuga vs Niji Hyuga. Winner Niji Hyuga. Next fight Uchiha Sasuke vs Akado Yoroi. Winner Uchiha Sasuke. Sakura Haruno vs Ino Yamanaka. Draw Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Niji, Sabaka no Temari, Nara Shikamaru, Sabaka no Gaara, and Uchiha Sasuke entered the arena. After the named ones came out, they were told the pairs for the third round of the exam and that they had a month to prepare. As soon as the last phrase was said, the scarlet-haired man silently disappeared into the Shunshin. For the next month nothing was heard about him. He was not seen in the places where he usually was. He was not at home or at the training ground. It was as if he did not exist at all. So, today we have gathered to conduct the final stage of the Chunin exam. So, let's begin. Perhaps the first pair is Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Niji named. Please stay, the rest. Please go to the waiting balcony. Only Niji remains in the arena. Suddenly, a kunai with an extra blade flies out from somewhere, and later, Uzumaki appears in a blue flash. This is the fourth technique flashed across the arena. Did someone really learn it? Examiner, give the signal to begin the fight, Naruto said coldly. Let's start. Genma shouted and jumped to the side. Give up, Naruto, you'll never defeat me, Niji said arrogantly. Naruto silently rushed towards the brunette, forcing a fight in taijutsu. Attacking a member of a clan that specializes in taijutsu, How unwise. Niji commented as he parried each attack. Naruto silently delivered his blows until he got tired of it. Having folded the seals, Naruto shouted, Katon/Futon, fire wind! A huge hot wave of wind rushed towards Niji. Katon! The brunette shouted and a dome covered him, protecting him from the wind, but he had to suddenly stop the technique and jump away from the scarlet-haired man. But Naruto disappeared in a blue flash and appeared from behind. Gotcha! 8 trigrams, 64 heavenly strikes. Niji started counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 64. After the last blow, Naruto flew back. Examiner, I won after this technique. He won't be able to continue the fight, said Niji, as I told you can't defeat me. What? Naruto was enveloped in a purple wave. Strange symbols began to crawl along his left side and his facial features began to resemble those of an animal. He quickly appeared next to Niji and hit him with all his strength, causing him to fly into the wall, making a dent in it, while breaking several ribs. After that, the seal returned to normal. I'm done, Naruto said and moved his shunshin to the roof of the arena. In the stands. There's something wrong here. It's not Naruto. What happened to you in the forest, and these symbols? The same as after Orochimaru's mark, Kakashi thought, and then it dawned on him, no, did they really meet Orochimaru and he put his mark on him? Then why didn't Naruto report it? There's something else here besides that. This Jinchuriki is an interesting specimen. He can already control the seal. Interesting. Very interesting. It seems that Sasuke is no longer interesting to me, thought Orochimaru in the guise of the Kazekage. I need to somehow lure him to my side, although the mark will do everything for me. Damn, it looks like the bookmarks flew off, and Orochimaru put his mark on him. Nothing can be done. I'll have to reseal the Kyuubi into another one. Hiruzen thought and called the Umbu, whispered something to him, and he disappeared. You really screwed up, Minato. In the arena. The winner is Uzumaki Naruto. The next fight is Uchiha Sasuke against Sabaku no Gaara, Genma said. Fight! Shouted the examiner. Then everything went according to canon. PA, sorry for so much canon, I just can't think of anything. Naruto was walking through the evening Konoha when he was surrounded by A and BU. Grabbing him, they immediately put a chakra suppression seal and knocked him out. Screams were heard throughout the root base, which had been going on for an hour, and now the last particle of Kyuubi's chakra leaves the scarlet-haired man's body. After which he loses consciousness. And the Kyuubi was sealed into one of the youngest and most loyal of the root employees. Danzo-sama Kyuubi was successfully extracted. One of the root Umbu reported as Hiruzen-sama assumed. The seal saved the guy and he is alive. What do you order to do? Erase his memory of this incident and move him to his home. There will be a lot of questions if he suddenly disappears. Danzo said. A week has passed. By decision of the council, Tsunade was elected as the new Hokage. Surprisingly, Danzo was also for her. It was decided that Jiraiya and Naruto would go after her. Jiraiya stood near the gate and waited for his partner. What he least expected was to see his godson. I suppose you'll be my partner on this mission, Naruto said. This look is just like Minato's on a mission. The hermit thought, but said out loud. Yes, and you, I suppose, are Naruto. Yes, and you are Jiraiya, one of the Sannin, Naruto said. Yes, baby, it's me, Jiraiya said, standing in his favorite pose. This circus did not affect the scarlet-haired one in any way. Are you coming? Naruto asked, already outside the gate. So, do you have any idea where to look for the target? Naruto asked, walking next to Jiraiya. I don't have the slightest idea, Jiraiya said, throwing up his hands. Great, said Naruto. Go there, I don't know where, and bring the Hokage back from there. What a great mission! Whether they walked for a long time or a short time, our travelers reached the glorious city of Tanzaku. First of all, they checked every bar or casino. And if there were no problems with the first, then they agreed to share information with the second after the game. In the end, they did not learn anything useful, but Naruto got a good amount of money in the form of 50,000 ryo. Closer to the evening, they reached the last bar. Entering it, they noticed Tsunade sitting at the last table. We haven't seen each other for a long time, Tsunade, said Jiraiya, sitting down at the table. Oh Jiraiya, would you like a drink? Asked Tsunade, who was already completely drunk. No, I'm sorry, but we're here on business, said Jiraiya. And for what reason? Tsunade asked. You have been appointed the 5th Hokage, and you are coming with us, said Jiraiya. I'm pass, Tsunade said. Could it be that the great slime princess Tsunade Senju was afraid of the Kage position? Are you really that weak? Naruto said after analyzing the situation. Boy, do you want to test this? Tsunade said. With pleasure, my fists are itching, but let's do it this way. If I win, you go to Konoha and become the 5th, if not, then we disappear, said Naruto. Come on, said Tsunade. In a distant clearing. I only need one finger to defeat you, Tsunade said, showing her index finger. Agreed, Naruto said. Start! Shizen commanded, but no one moved. Naruto reached for his pouch and quickly pulled out a handful of kunai with papers tied to the handles, and with one sharp movement threw them in different directions, but not one hit. Squint! Tsunade said. Without saying a word, Naruto took out a kunai with an extra blade, which also had a piece of paper tied to it, and threw it, aiming near Tsunade's head. What is he doing? Everyone present thought in unison, but something happened that shocked them. As soon as the non-standard kunai flew past Tsunade's head, Naruto disappeared in a blue flash and appeared behind Tsunade and struck her in the back. Tsunade, due to her high experience, of course, parried the blow and wanted to strike back, but Naruto disappeared again and appeared on one of the trees and attacked her again. It's Hiraishin! Everyone thought in unison, and Tsunade continued. Damn it, it'll be harder to get him with this technique. Tsunade parried the blow and counterattacked, but Uzumaki teleported to another kunai again. Then, taking his non-standard kunai, he attacked her again, but with a kunai. As in previous attempts, Tsunade parried the blow and counterattacked, but the red-haired boy dodged again with Hiraishin. Well, I found out everything I needed to, Uzumaki grinned and taking out a kunai with a piece of paper, ran towards her head-on. Halfway there, he threw it at her and began to create a Rasengan. And also a Rasengan. Everyone was surprised again. What else will you show Naruto? Taking advantage of Tsunade's confusion, as soon as the kunai was behind his back, he moved towards him and in flight hit Tsunade's back with a weakened Rasengan, similar to how Minato hit Obito in the anime, or how Naruto hit Menma in the 9th film. Tsunade lost consciousness from the blow. It's like Minato is fighting, thought a shocked Jiraiya. I won, Naruto said. How do you know about Hiraishin and Rasengan? Asked the amazed Jiraiya. From the scrolls, Naruto answered and looking at the brunette said, Lady, could you escort us to your room with Tsunade? Well, let's go. Shizen smiled. Jiraiya-san, take the 5th one and send us, said Naruto. Why me? Jiraiya was indignant. Because I won't lift her. The scarlet-haired boy answered shortly and went after Shizen. Poor Jiraiya had no choice but to lift Tsunade and go after them. The next day, Tsunade came to her senses, after which they explained to her the situation she had found herself in, and went to the village. For the last 3 days, Orochimaru's seal had been haunting him, forcing him to go to Orochimaru. In the end, he couldn't stand it anymore. Closer to night, Naruto began to pack his backpack. He put in his clothes, for the first time, and all the remaining equipment, not forgetting the only photo of his mother, cut out from a book about the Hokage. He left his apartment, heading towards the exit of the village. Sakura was walking around thinking about what happened to Naruto. After meeting Orochimaru, he changed a lot. From a cheerful boy he turned into a cold person. And at the same time he avoided contact with others. What happened to you, Naruto? Sakura thought, when suddenly she noticed a lonely figure walking towards the exit of the village. Looking closely, she saw her friend and partner. Hey Naruto, where are you going at this hour of the night? Sakura asked. I'm leaving, Naruto answered briefly. Why are you leaving? What happened? Asked a shocked Sakura. Naruto looked at the sky. I found out something, and after this information I can't be in this village, said Naruto, and then he suddenly moved his shunshin behind Sakura's back and said, Thank you for everything, Sakura. With these words Naruto knocks out Sakura and, catching her unconscious body, puts her on the bench. After leaving the village, Naruto headed towards the rice paddy country. After walking 2 kilometers from the village, he was surrounded by 5 shinobi from the Sound Village. Hey kid, your name is Naruto, right? Asked a short girl with red hair. Well, let's say, what next? Naruto asked, preparing for the worst. Orochimaru-sama ordered us to escort you, she replied. So that means you are Orochimaru's henchman, Naruto stated. No FCK Hokage, said the girl. Let's go already. The 6 of them set off towards the country of rice fields. Then again it's canon, PA. I know I'm already pissing you off with canon, only instead of Naruto there was Sasuke. The Valley of Completion had Naruto on Madara's head and Sasuke on Hashirama's head. Naruto, return to the village voluntarily, otherwise I will have to use force, Sasuke said, activating the dual Tomoe Sharingan. And you make me, Naruto said in a manic voice, activating the first stage of the curse seal. The fight broke out. Naruto simply beat Sasuke. During the battle, Sasuke's third Tomo awakened. This time Naruto was the one who got it, breaking the distance. How can you not understand that I have nothing to do in this rotten village? Naruto shouted, activating the second stage. The fight continued. During the battle, Sasuke took out a kunai and threw it at the scarlet-haired man and accidentally injured his left eye. Naruto howled in pain and pressed his hand to the wound, soared into the air and closed his injured eye, made a series of seals and said, Katan/Futon, fire wind. But it didn't end there. Naruto started to set up new seals: Katan, phoenix flowers; Futon, vacuum bullets; Katan, fireball; Futon, air storm; Katan, skull crushing. The techniques flew one after another, reinforcing each other, and if Sasuke dodged the first 2 techniques, then towards the end he was very exhausted, and the techniques began to hit. Somehow, having dodged the last technique, he received a purple Rasengan on the back. Flying into a nearby mountain, he crashed into it and lost consciousness. Naruto walked up to Sasuke and took his headband, crossed out the Konoha mark on it, and threw it on his body. Turning off the cursed mark mode, he went to Orochimaru. What's wrong with your eye? Orochimaru asked. In the Valley of Completion, Sasuke caught up with me. A fight broke out, during which he damaged my eyes, said Naruto. Well then, perhaps I can return your full vision, and also strengthen you, said Orochimaru. What do you mean? Naruto didn't understand. You'll understand everything yourself later, Orochimaru answered, descending with Naruto into his lair. After giving him a short tour, Orochimaru left Naruto in his now room and went to the lab. About 3 years have passed since Naruto left the village. As promised to Orochimaru, he returned his sight by transplanting the only copy of the Ketsuryugen into his left eye socket, instead of his damaged eye. During these 3 years, Naruto perfectly mastered his left eye. However, he could not deactivate it, so he kept it closed. The scarlet-haired man learned many techniques of his elements, and also improved his Rasengan to the elements of wind and fire, so the Rasen Shuriken and Fire Rasengan appeared, and also by evenly pouring wind and fire chakra he created a flame Rasen Shuriken. Behind his back he now has a copy of the Kusanagi, piece/alike Sasuke in canon, only the scabbard with the handle are scarlet. The appearance of the scarlet-haired man also changed. He grew his hair, now he looked more like his father. He wears a red and black tracksuit, as well as black fingerless gloves with red studs on each finger, and a metal plate on the outside of the hand. He wore standard black shinobi sandals, only all the velcro was red. He was currently sleeping in his room when he heard voices, and then when someone entered his room, deciding to play a little with the stranger, he did nothing. POV Sakura. Not here, I said, opening one of the rooms, and then ran on. When I opened the next one, I was disappointed. And not here, damn it! I repeated, looking for the right door. Where are you? I said. Where are you? Sasuke said. Naruto! They both shouted. There was an explosion. Running in that direction, I saw Sai looking up. A moment later, Sasuke-kun came running too. End POV Sakura. Running up to Sai, Sakura hit him and, grabbing him by the collar, screamed. So who are you really? How many more times will you betray us? The pink-haired girl was angry. Ah, Sakura, Naruto said, looking down at them. Sakura stopped in shock. This voice, she thought, slowly turning towards the voice, finding the source. Her eyes widened to the limit, and Naruto. Sasuke and Yamato ran out of the corridor. Naruto! Sasuke said. Sasuke, are you here too? Then Kakashi is with you, Naruto said, turning his gaze to Yamato. Sorry, but I'm not Kakashi-san. I'm in his place and Kakashi's new team will return you to the village, Yamato said. Team Kakashi, Naruto said and looked at Sai. The latter pulled out his tanto. Sai. I knew it was you, Sakura began, but was interrupted by Naruto. So he's my replacement? Naruto said, then turned his gaze to Sasuke. Suddenly appearing next to Sasuke, he took out his katana. I don't understand what you're doing here. I remember you wanted to take revenge on Itachi. You should have been training instead, Naruto said. First I will return you to Konoha, and then I will take revenge on Itachi, Sasuke said. Thank you, but I'll refuse. Naruto broke the distance, and opened his left eye bloody veil. A type of Genjutsu Ketsuryugen, invented by me. It works like Itachi's Tsukuyami, or rather based on it. He created it thanks to Orochimaru's story about Tsukuyami. Everyone suddenly fell to their knees, and Sakura started crying. That's enough, Naruto-kun. It's time for us to leave, Orochimaru said along with Kabuto, placing his hand on Uzumaki's shoulder. A second later they disappeared in a purple flash. A month has passed. On one of Orochimaru's underground training grounds, there was a guy with scarlet hair, and he simply destroyed him with the right-hand technique. I'm ready, the guy thought and headed towards Orochimaru's room. Orochimaru lay on his bed, coughing up blood. Be patient, Orochimaru-sama, the medicine will be ready soon, said Kabuto, heading to the laboratory for the necessary ingredients. Damn, this body is rejecting me. I need to change it as soon as possible. But the time has not come yet. Suddenly Orochimaru sensed danger and a purple blade of lightning approaching him. What a familiar chakra, Orochimaru said. But I've never seen such control over form. Cutting the door open, Naruto walked inside, holding a replica of the Kusanagi in one hand and a lightning blade in the other. In the end, everything was leading up to this, Orochimaru said. It's time for you to die, Orochimaru, Naruto said, surrounding him with kunai with the Hiraishin seal. Raiten, Hiraishin, lightning slashing blades, Naruto said, and Orochimaru cut through the numerous lightning blades attacking from different sides. Your body is mine, Orochimaru said in his original body. Bloody shroud, Naruto said, and the space Orochimaru placed him in began to turn blood red. No! This is my world! Damn you, Uzumaki Naruto! The last thing Orochimaru said before he died. Then Naruto cut Orochimaru's body and, staggering due to the poison secreted from the Sanin's body, headed towards the exit from the shelter. Coming to the surface, Naruto headed to one of the furthest shelters. Arriving there, he noticed her, the one he had once saved, the one who had saved him from the all-consuming abyss of hatred. Hello, Karen, the scarlet-haired man said with a smile. Naruto. Karen hung on the scarlet-haired man's neck. You didn't come for so long that I already thought that he managed to take over your body. Naruto hugged her and, stroking her scarlet hair, said, Silly girl. It's time to leave here, Naruto said, smiling. Where are we going now? Karen asked. Let's go to the Uzushio ruins. Maybe we can find scrolls with fusion techniques there. Naruto and Karen's relationship development. About 2 years had passed since Uzumaki's departure. Naruto had already managed to learn a lot, including how to skillfully wield his sword. Now he was walking towards Orochimaru's office. When he arrived there, he found the scarlet-haired girl he had once saved. What was her name? Oh yes, Karen. What did Orochimaru call for? Naruto asked. There is a task for both of you. A group of bandits was spotted not far from here. Your task will be to eliminate them, said Sanin's Mei, pointing to the approximate location of the bandits on the map. Hi, they both said and set off towards the specified coordinates. Arriving at the place, they found a group of bandits consisting of 50 people. Having developed a plan, they began to implement it, but, as usually happens, something will definitely go wrong, and now they were fighting against the bandits. Most of them, or rather about 35, attacked Naruto, while the remaining 15 fought Karen. Naruto defeated them, but was badly wounded. He looked at how Karen was doing and found that she was doing badly. There were 5 attackers left, and they cornered Karen. Not understanding what he was doing, Naruto, at all the speed available to him, rushed to her and began to fight the rest. Having killed the rest, he lost consciousness due to severe injuries. Towards evening, Naruto opened his eyes and saw Karen's worried face. Something stabbed in his chest. He had never felt this feeling before. After the end of that mission, Naruto began to visit Karen more often. With each meeting, the feelings of both grew stronger, until one fine day Naruto confessed and received a positive answer. Commentary on Chapter 10. Meeting after 3 years. Here's a chapter for you. I hope I managed to make a more or less normal origin and development of Naruto's feelings. Perhaps closer to lunch I'll release another chapter. A month later, our couple reached the Uzushio ruins. They were met by a barrier. Okay then, I'll go in first. And if it's safe, I'll follow you, okay? Naruto asked. No, together, Karen said in a tone that brooked no argument. Okay. Naruto gave in. Taking a deep breath, they entered through the barrier, which let them through without any problems. The village gates appeared before their eyes, and they continued on their way. What appeared before their eyes was not the ruined and empty village they expected to see, but a whole and populated village, where no matter where you looked, there was one red-haired people. Suddenly, they were attacked by some of the guardians. Covering Karen behind his back, Naruto opened his left eye and they were surrounded by dragons made entirely of blood. The attackers retreated and suddenly, "Hey, look, it looks like the prophecy is coming true." Some guys shouted and everyone turned their attention to them. Suddenly an elderly man with a staff came out of the crowd. He was dressed in a standard monk's kimono. "We were waiting for you, child of prophecy and his companion," said the grandfather. "My name is Sage Uzumaki." "I don't understand anything," was all Naruto could say. "Come with me," said the old man and set off on his way. Long ago, back in the days of Rikudo Sanin, his youngest son had a vision. The old man began when they entered the temple, that one day the clan of Scarlet Demons, that is, us, would be completely attacked, during which the entire main branch of the clan would die defending their people, all except one girl, who would later give birth to the reincarnation of the youngest son of the Sage of the Six Paths. He would stop the destruction of the world, and then revive the main branch of the clan. As the sage's son said, this boy would have lighter hair than the rest of the clan, and he would also have different eyes. The right one would be blue as the sky, and the left one could control blood like yours, my boy. He made a special stone in which all his power was hidden, a stone that would point to him, and hid it in this temple. They went deeper and deeper into the temple until they came to a room in the middle of which stood a stone with a carving for a hand. "Go to the stone, cut your hand and place it in the opening," said the old man. Naruto approached the stone and took out a kunai, cut his palm and put it down. The stone glowed with light. Naruto's POV. When I put my hand on the stone, everything went dark before my eyes, and then a blinding light was heard. After it became possible to see in front of me in the lotus position sat a guy with brown hair and black eyes. "Well, hello Naruto, child of prophecy, and also my reincarnation," he said with a Hashirama smile. "Excuse me, but how do you know my name and who you are?" I asked. "I am Otsutsuki Ashura, the youngest son of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, or as you call him Rikudo Sanin. I would be happy to talk to you, but time is running out. There is a war going on in the outside world now. I will give you all my power and the knowledge of how to use it. The reincarnation of my brother is already on the battlefield. Hurry," Ashura said, and touching my forehead, evaporated. Then a scarlet-haired old man appeared in front of me. "Hello, my successor. I am Ashina Uzumaki, the head of the clan. I am here to pass on all my knowledge to you so that you can protect the clan." With these words, Ashina touched my forehead and disappeared. From the excess of information, I began to lose consciousness. End POV Naruto. Naruto's appearance changed. His hair grew even more. Now he looked even more like his father. His Ketsaigen also changed. The pupil and iris became smaller, and ripples came from them like the Rinnegan. Naruto woke up on a double bed with scarlet bedding. Turning his head, he saw Karen sitting next to the bed. "Where am I?" asked the scarlet-haired man. "Naruto, you're finally awake." I hugged him. "Karen, who had woken up instantly, you haven't regained consciousness for about 2 months." "How much?" Naruto suddenly jumped up and started looking for his clothes. "Damn. I have to hurry." "Naruto, what happened?" asked Karen, who didn't understand anything. "Sorry, But there's no time to explain, Naruto said. Damn, where are my clothes? It was destroyed, so they gave you a new one, said the red Karen, pointing towards the door. Opening the door, he saw a wardrobe, in the middle of which stood a mannequin in a red jumpsuit, over which was worn a dark gray Jonin vest, and over all of this was a black cloak with a red flame at the end. Next to all of this stood a sword. Having put all this on, he fastened the sword on his back and went out. Karen, stay here, and I'll go stop the war, Naruto said and kissed the girl. Come back alive, Karen said in a sad voice. I can't help but come back alive, because I know that my Karen is waiting for me in the village of whirlpools. Naruto kissed Karen again, and disappeared in a purple flash. The alliance was almost destroyed, and a jubilee bomb was flying towards its remnants. It looks like this is the end, Sakura, Sasuke said, preparing for death. It looks like Sasuke-kun, the pink-haired Kunoichi said sadly. When there were only a few meters left to the alliance, the bomb disappeared, and in its place there remained a strange kunai with 3 blades. You are fast, fourth, said the second. As always, Minato, said the third, landing next to the second and first. They're resurrected, Sakura thought. Don't worry, we're on your side. Orochimaru resurrected us so that we could help at the front, said the first one. They're coming, Sasuke said. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, Minato said and took out a 3-petal kunai, but with a different formula, and threw it. In a purple flash, a tall, scarlet-haired guy appeared in a black cloak with red flames at the ends. On the cloak was the inscription, Third Will of the Whirlpool. Rest, Sasuke, I'll figure it out, he said. Now Naruto, Sakura said with a trembling voice, what are you doing here? I'm saving the world, said the scarlet-haired man. Naruto rushed with all his speed at the Jubi. Grabbing his sword, he imbued it with reincarnation chakra. The sword glowed with a golden light and symbols crawled from the handle. Swinging it, he released a huge golden wave that cut all the Jubi clones. Getting close to it, he flew up like Pain and climbed up to Madara and Obito. It is not right to destroy the world, Naruto said and pierced Madara with his sword. He did not even have time to jump back, as his soul was sealed. Then with a deft movement he knocked Obito off his feet and also plunged the blade into him, but it passed through him. You can't take me like that, Obito said, about to strike, but Naruto jumped away from him. How about this? Naruto put his hands together and said Jutsu Rainkatsu Urien, Sharingo. Obito's Sharingan and Rinnegan suddenly disappeared. What have you done? Obito's rage knew no bounds. I sealed your genes, now you won't be able to use the Ijutsu, Naruto said and rushed at Obito, followed by Sasuke and Sakura. I don't know what you're planning, Naruto, but don't count us out, Sasuke said, activating his Eternal Manjuku Sharingan. I see that you finally defeated Itachi and received new power, Naruto said. I haven't been sitting still either, now I'm walking on par with you, Sakura said, and a Byakugo mark appeared on her forehead. Then don't fall behind, Naruto said and increased his speed and ran towards Obito and Taijutsu. Without the Sharingan, Obito had a hard time fending off Team 7's attacks. While he was fending off Naruto's blow, he had to dodge Sakura's powerful blow, but wherever he moved, Sasuke was already waiting for him, sending him back with a kick. These dances continued for about 15 minutes. Suddenly Naruto started a set of seals, which Sasuke began to repeat. Katan, Great Fire Destruction. Sasuke and Naruto shouted at the same time. Obito dodged, but Sakura's strong blow returned him to the technique's range. The technique hit Obito, his suit burned, half of his body received a 4th-degree burn, the other half received a 3rd-degree burn. Now he was lying on the ground and could not move. The first part is done. Now only he remains. With these words Naruto began to set unknown seals. Cover me, Sasuke, Sakura. Okay, they both answered. Fuinjutsu, sealing the Biju. Strange symbols began to creep from Naruto, which enveloped Jubi, and then the scarlet-haired one. After a few minutes Jubi disappeared, and a seal appeared on Naruto's stomach. Victory! Someone from the Alliance shouted. Everyone started to rejoice. Our Team 7 started to talk about something and laugh. And now the team is back together. Sasuke, you took revenge on Itachi and now you want to protect the village. Sakura, you finally achieved the heart of the Uchiha. Naruto, even though I didn't know your goals, But you surpassed your father, thought Kakashi, looking at the reunited Team 7, and added out loud, "What are your goals, Naruto?" Everyone looked at him attentively. Naruto said with a smile. "Go back to your Karen." Naruto smiled. Smiling, Kakashi headed towards the barely alive Obito, P/A. Before reading the following lines, for a better understanding of the plot, I advise you to turn on the song Naruto Shippuden Style 04 Sengen Banba. It will be in my group as a video. I can't post it any other way. The link will be in the comments. IL lost, Obito barely squeezed out. And to whom? Some brats. You know, everything could have been different if you had returned to the village, said Kakashi. But you went down the dark path of hatred and now you lie defeated because of your own mistake. I just wanted everyone to be happy. Obito croaked. I wanted everyone to see their loved ones again, for peace to finally come. Peace has already come, Obito, look around. Kakashi said and stepped back, thereby opening the view to the dying Obito. What Obito saw amazed him. Shinobi from different villages hugged each other and rejoiced at their victory. Well, it looks like you're right, then I'll leave everything to you, Kakashi, Obito said with a smile, and his soul left his body. I hope your soul will finally find peace, Kakashi said, looking at the dawn. Well, my mission here is complete. It's time for me to leave, Naruto said. Aren't you coming back to Konoha with us? Sakura asked. No, Sakura, I'll go home. With these words, Naruto pointed to the protector with the whirlpool sign and the inscription on the cloak. Sakura's eyes widened. Are you a Kage? Yes, and now goodbye, Naruto said and disappeared in a golden flash. No one ever heard of him again. It was as if he had disappeared from this world. Only rare travelers in bars told stories about the scarlet-haired guy who could control blood. 3 years have passed. I'm so tired, said the scarlet-haired guy, looking at the huge pile of papers. What did you think? It would be easy. A voice was heard in my head. No, Shinju, I suspected that there would be such red tape, but I didn't expect it to be so strong. Naruto answered the ten-tailed, who after a month of being in the seal had lost his anger and hatred. How are you doing here, Naruto-kun? Said the scarlet-haired girl in scarlet glasses with crimson eyes. She was dressed in a loose light purple kimono, P/like Kushina's dress. In her hands she had a bundle. I brought you lunch. Thank you, dear. Naruto smiled, returning to reality, and began to eat. As always, amazing. Having finished eating, he returned to work. Later in the evening he returned home, where Karen was waiting for him. I'm home, Naruto said. Welcome, Karen called back. How was the rest of your day? Don't even ask, it was total crap, Naruto said, sitting down on the couch. Karen, taking advantage of his position, began to massage his shoulders. But do you still have the strength for me? Karen said with a vulgar smile. I'll always have the strength for you, Naruto said and stood up abruptly, took Karen in his arms and went to the bedroom. 5 years have passed. A man of about 25 years old was walking through one of the many parks in Uzushio, and next to him was a girl with scarlet hair and crimson eyes, and next to them, arm in arm, was a little boy of about 4 years old, with scarlet hair like his father's and blue eyes. Dad, when will you train me? Asked the boy. You are still too young for training, Akihiro. Smart. As soon as you turn 7, we will start your training, said Naruto. They walked like this until sunset, and then headed home.